Shalom, everyone. It's wonderful to see you. Friends, this evening, I'm very excited to share with you the news that the Hodson family has gotten bigger. No, we are not having another child. Thank God. We purchased a new pet. No, not a dog or a cat. We got something that's not terribly exciting, nor is it too much to take care of, thank God. We purchased a betta fish. He lives in a little fish bowl, feeding little fish food pellets, and I'm happy to report I named this fish after a beloved teacher of mine from rabbinical school. He was my homiletics teacher, a guy named Rabbi Ed Feinstein. So I thought it was appropriate that I named this little betta fish Rabbi Finstein. Thank you. Woo, woo. Everything was going great with this little fish. It was wonderful having another rabbi in the house. But lo and behold, after a couple months, we ran into a bit of a problem last week. You see, Rabbi Finstein's bowl began to turn green. And not because it was St. Patrick's Day. There was an algae bloom in his little aquarium. Now, you might recall that I worked in the pet care industry for a number of years. And so I know that when you have an algae bloom in your tank, there are a number of ways of dealing with this, the first of which is that you can buy an algae scrubber and actually clean your aquarium. That's what responsible pet owners do. Or you could do what I did, and you can take the lazy route, and you can actually buy an algae-eating fish that will do all the work for you. So I go to the pet store, ready to buy a fish like this. And I look around a bit, but I can't seem to find the breed of fish that I need for Rabbi Finstein's bowl. So I did something crazy, and I asked for help. And friends, there's no easy way to say this, but the person who helped me was kind of odd. Now keep in mind, I'm literally giving a fish sermon right now, which is not normal by any stretch of the imagination. And it probably means that I too am a little strange, meaning that if I say that you're odd, boy howdy, that is a serious accusation. I think what the problem was that the woman who helped me, she didn't look odd at all. She looked actually pretty normal, but she had an unusually deep voice, which was really startling. I was not prepared for that at the pet store. I approached her and I said, "Hey, I need a fish that eats algae." And she responded in a James Earl style, Darth Vader-y voice. And she said, "What makes you think you need a fish to do that?" Now please hear me. I don't think she was odd because of her voice. I don't judge people for things that they don't have control over. It was the shtick she launched into afterwards which gave me pause. She said, this is what she said. She said, "I know exactly what you need. It's small, it's hard, and it's slimy." I didn't know what to say to that. That's a weird thing to say. So I just stood there waiting for her to answer her own aquatic riddle. And she did. She said, "You need a sea snail." Now it's at this point in our story, specifically with the words sea snail, that I think Jonathan reached his odd pet store lady limit. I was kind of done at this point. I was ready to do anything or buy anything, as long as it meant I could get out of there and stop talking to her. So I pointed to the nearest aquarium, and it happened to have a snail crawling on the glass, and I said, "Great, I'll take this one. And that's when weird pet store lady got really serious. She just shook her head and she said, "No, that snail is too much responsibility." And I was confused, so I said, "But that snail's only $3.50. And then she got a little agitated and she said, "No, you don't understand." And she motioned for me to get a little closer. And I did for some reason. And then she started whispering, which sounded even more strange because it was a whisper but in a really deep voice. I didn't know you could do that. She said, "This snail does not have any arms or legs." And I replied, well, most snails don't. By the way, I too was whispering now, I'm not sure why. She said, "No, what I'm trying to tell you is that it cannot sit itself up, which means that if it falls backwards on its shell, you have to reach into the tank and stand it upright." And I said, "Okay, why are we whispering?" And then she proceeded for 5 minutes to try and talk me out of purchasing this snail. And I probably should have listened to her, but that's not how Jews make decisions. We see something mildly concerning and we say, "Perfect, I'll take 2. So, friends, I bought this stupid snail. I put it in Rabbi Finstein's aquarium, and now every morning, I don't even check on the beta. I wake up and I check on the snail. Is he upright? Is he okay? Did he make any poor life decisions overnight? And every now and then, I'll see him tilting in a way that makes me nervous. And I'll say, this is it. It's a moment I've been training for. I'll tap on his bowl. It's like Rocky Balboa's trainer or something. Like, "Get up, Rock, you can do it. Come on." And if he can't, I step in. I'm like a snail superhero. I step in, I stick my hand in that green water, I set him upright. That's my mitzvah for the day. Friends, after a couple days of this process, I realized something I've never related to an animal more in my entire life. Because here's the truth. I'd like to think of myself like I'm the beta fish, independent, graceful, in control, but most of the time, I'm just a snail. I'm just trying to do the right thing, moving slowly through life, cleaning up my little corner of the world. And sometimes, admittedly, I too fall on my back. And when I do, I can't always fix it myself. And that brings us to this week's Parshat. Parshat Vayikra. Now, I know what you're thinking, Rabbi, are you really about to compare a snail to ancient temple sacrifices? Yes. Yes, I am. Stay with me. It's going to be okay. The book of Vayikra, Leviticus, is not exactly known as the most light, uplifting, easy to read part of the Torah. It's detailed. It's specific. Talks about offerings and sacrifices and endless procedures for doing them. But buried within all of that detail is something profoundly human, I think. The Torah introduces a novel idea. It advocates that there is a specific offering called a korban chatat that a person could bring when they had sinned by mistake. Not when they had rebelled, not when they had intentionally done the wrong thing, for when they messed up unintentionally. It's a fascinating concept. The Torah doesn't say, well, if you didn't mean it, don't worry about it. Likewise, the Torah also doesn't say, if you've made a mistake, you're beyond repair. Instead, the Torah creates a path, a system, a way back. You see, Judaism understands something essential. Being human means making mistakes, even when we mean well. Friends, we all fall on our backs. We all have said the wrong thing. We all have hurt someone intentionally or unintentionally. We all have missed the mark. We all have tried our best, but sometimes it still wasn't right. And in those moments, we oftentimes feel stuck, helpless on our backs, just like that snail. We think, well, this is it. I messed up. I should have known better. I should have done better. But the Torah comes along and speaks to us reassuringly, and it tells us, no, you're not stuck. There is a way to be set up right again. Now, obviously, in modern times, we don't have temple sacrifices, but I think we have something even more powerful. Awareness, responsibility, and most importantly, the ability to return, to do teshuvah. And here's the part that I love the most. The system described in Vayikra assumes something radical, that God understands each and every one of us. It's as if Hashem built into the very structure of the Torah a response to our inevitable mistakes, a response to us falling on our tuchus. It's almost as if God is saying, I know you're human, and yes, this will happen, and when it does, I am here to help you back up. It's like God is the one standing over our fishbowl ready to help. And when we need it, Hashem gently reaches in and sets us upright. Now, before you get too comfortable with this image, this is not permission to just flop around life and say, don't worry, God will flip me over. The snail, after all, is still trying to do its job. It's moving, it's contributing, it's not choosing to fall. It just happens. And that's the beauty and the balance that Judaism asks of us. Our tradition tells us, do your best, take responsibility, keep moving forward, but also know that when you fall, and you will fall, that you are not alone in that moment. There is a system to help you return. There is a God who believes you can be upright again, and maybe, just maybe, there are people in your life that can help you too. So this week, as we read Parshat Vayikra, and as you go about your lives, I want you to remember two things. First, if you fall on your back, it's not the end of the story. And second, I want you to keep an eye out for the other snails around you, because someone you love near you might be stuck, and they might need just a small, gentle nudge to be set upright again. And lastly, remember this. None of us are meant to stay on our backs forever. We are here to lift one another up, to steady one another, and to trust that when we cannot quite turn ourselves around, God or someone else will help us find our way upright again. And if all else fails, just remember, even at our slowest, even when we've made a mess out of things, we're still moving forward. Because in the end, no matter how many times we fall, we're never truly escargon. Shabbat shalom.